Hi, Taylor T. Carlson here, and I'm happy to say that the good people at Criterion are at it again, and they've given their deluxe treatment to one of the greatest films ever made. The movie I'm referring to today is Martin Scorsese's classic 1980 film, Raging Bull. This film, of course, stars Robert De Niro in one of the defining roles of his career, directed by Martin Scorsese and featuring an all-star cast of others. I'm going to do an unboxing of this release, talk about the movie, and of course, I'll let you know if I recommend it or not. Nice close-up of the cover art there with Robert De Niro portraying boxer Jake LaMotta. There's our spine text. Back cover with a summary of the film, list of bonus features, legalese, credits, and so forth. And what do we get inside? Like all Criterion releases, we do get a booklet. I'm always glad to see that these guys go the extra mile when it comes to this sort of stuff. I'm not going to go through every single page in here, but you can sort of get an idea of what's to be had in the package. I mean, a film this great obviously has a lot of stories that are worth telling, and they always get some great people to do essays and so forth. Inside the case, of course, we have our discs, starting with the 4K Ultra High Def disc, which is a bright red. And then we have our 1080p Blu-ray version of the film, that being on a more traditional black disc. And behind the discs, this is the artwork that we have inside with De Niro's character. And I will read the summary of the film from the back of the package. With this stunningly visceral portrait of self-destructive machismo, Martin Scorsese created one of the truly great and visionary works of modern cinema. Robert De Niro pours his blood, sweat, and brute physicality into the Oscar-winning role of Jake LaMotta, the rising middleweight boxer from the Bronx whose furious ambition propels him to success within the ring, but his unbridled paranoia and jealousy tatter his relationships with everyone in his orbit, including his brother and manager, his gorgeous, streetwise wife, Thelma Schoonmaker's Oscar-winning editing, Michael Chapman's extraordinary tactile black and white cinematography, and Frank Warner's ingenious sound editing combined to make Raging Bull a uniquely powerful exploration of violence on multiple levels: physical, emotional, psychic, and spiritual. Surprisingly, despite its lofty reputation, Raging Bull did not win Best Picture in 1980. The award actually went to the film Ordinary People. And while that's certainly a solid film in its own right, I'm definitely in the camp that believes Raging Bull should have been the Best Picture winner that year. The movie may be produced by Robert Chartoff and Irwin Winkler, who produced another boxing film series, Rocky, but this movie is the anti-Rocky in every way. Rocky was a spiritual, uplifting film about an underdog going the distance, and it's a great inspirational tale. Raging Bull is completely the opposite. Shot in black and white with the exception of a few brief moments in the film, this is a story of self-destruction, toxic masculinity, and how this whole trip destroys everyone around boxer Jake LaMotta. And yet somehow Martin Scorsese still manages to make him an interesting character and even borderline sympathetic. I mean, throughout the film, we see him losing boxing matches and beating himself up over it. We see him dumping his wife for a much younger, better-looking woman. We see him lashing out at those around him, both physically and verbally. This is a movie that really knows no bounds when it shows just how deep into self-destruction one man can fall. And that makes it all the more interesting a tale. This movie does not sugarcoat anything. It's brutal, it's disturbing, and at times it's outright disgusting. De Niro is the real standout here. He actually he had actually gained a good deal of weight to play this part in the bookends that start and close the movie that are set later in time than the core of the film, and that physical transformation, of course, has been an inspiration to many actors since. The supporting cast includes the likes of Kathy Moriarty, who portrays the second wife that Jake LaMotta gets, and his brother/manager is portrayed by Joe Pesci in one of his earliest film roles. Pesci and De Niro, of course, would go on to appear together in several subsequent Martin Scorsese films. And it's kind of an interesting role reversal because in those later Scorsese movies like Goodfellas and Casino, Joe Pesci is this firecracker that'll go off at a moment's notice with plenty of violence and profanity. But here it's like the roles are reversed. Pesci's the straight man here, and De Niro's the one who's on the self-destructive tirade. Although Pesci certainly gets in plenty of his Pesci-isms throughout, and that definitely shows in just about every scene he's in. Overall, it's a fantastic movie, but I do warn you, it's rated R and certainly not for the faint of heart. It's about as disturbing as it gets, but it's a masterpiece for all the things that it does right. I was so happy to hear that the Criterion Collection got the rights to release Raging Bull in 4K, and I'm happy to see that as far as picture quality goes, my hopes for this release absolutely came to fruition. It's a beautiful looking black and white 4K transfer, and I'm not at all disappointed with what I see here. It may not be the absolute best looking 4K title I've ever seen, but I am happy to see that if this is the best Raging Bull ever looks, I'm happy with that. And there are plenty of bonus features on the disc as well, including 3 commentary tracks. There's also some old vintage TV footage, interviews, and plenty of other stuff, so I think any fan of the movie is going to be busy for a very long time with what they get here. Are you a fan of Raging Bull? Is this your favorite Scorsese film? Is it your favorite performance from Robert De Niro? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.